Hi everyone, my name is Maz Catterall. Everyone calls me Maz. When was I diagnosed? Well, I got a possible diagnosis after I'd been in hospital initially, to be honest. So I was taken into hospital for 2 weeks with stroke-like symptoms. But eventually I was passed over to neurology, who said that he thought I had orofacial dystonia as part of a functional neurological disorder, and that diagnosis was confirmed by the same neurologist in August. How long were you experiencing symptoms before diagnosis? Well, to be honest, I had been experiencing severe anxiety in the preceding months leading up to the actual symptoms starting, but the literal symptoms themselves came on really suddenly, to be honest. So June the 19th, Father's Day it was, 2022, I woke up and my face had kind of altered and drooped and looked a little strange. I thought I had Bell's palsy or something at first. But yeah, that was the first main symptom. In terms of my other main symptoms that have developed since then, obviously the facial dystonia affects my speech. It also affects my eating, because I have to eat like soft foods or liquids. I have really painful facial spasms up in the face and the jaw, and into my neck sometimes. And I also have issues with memory, so like brain fog and short-term memory issues. I do suffer with chronic fatigue, in the sense of if I do more one day than the following day, I can be extremely exhausted and tired. It's almost like you can't pick your body up or something. And then I suffer with severe migraines as well, amongst other things. Have you received any treatment? The treatment from the NHS has been extremely limited. But I did receive some CBT therapy initially, and was fortunate to find an excellent, outstanding counsellor. And then really recently, I've had one session so far. I've had speech therapy on the NHS as well, but I've also done lots of things myself privately to try and help the situation. So some of those things include my counsellor with my CBT, my psychotherapy, and talking therapies. That lady's name is Chloe Mason. She's based in Ormskirk, and I do have details for if anyone would like to get in touch and does need them. Can't recommend her enough. And then I also have mindfulness with a lady called Imelda McQuaid. She has a company called Mindful by Nature. That's an extremely beneficial tool in order to calm anxiety down, in a similar manner to another thing that she does, which is called reflexology. So there's reflexology in nature. And to be honest, a foot massage is a fabulous way to try and relax when you're going through chronic illness. Other things that I've tried include things like hypnotherapy for the emotional side. So I have a lady called Leah Walsh from Inspired Minds Hypnotherapy, who is excellent, and some people may really benefit from her. I've also tried things like acupuncture, chiropractor as well. And again, they didn't overly help my face, but that's not to say that they wouldn't be beneficial for other people. In terms of current things, as I said, I just started speech therapy, and that one is on the NHS, but I'm also having neurophysio at Burscough Neurophysio. I've had about 4 or 5 sessions, and it's absolutely fantastic. I have a gentleman called Jack that I deal with there, and he's absolutely amazing. I'm having some good progress there, so hopefully that continues. In terms of which one I find useful, I think I've already dealt with that one there. Am I awaiting any treatment? Yeah, I am still awaiting NHS referrals. One to a dystonia clinic. Excuse me. and the other one through one that's an out of area referral. But to be honest, the NHS waiting times really have been extremely challenging. So most things that I'm finding beneficial, I have had to go private, and obviously, you know, it is expensive as well. What part of my life has been the most affected? I think there are a couple of areas that have been the most affected, to be honest. The first one is things like eating out. So I wouldn't eat a meal out now because I feel quite embarrassed about obviously how I eat and the way that I look in that respect, particularly when I'm eating. But also I teach English, and I'm an assistant principal in a school. I don't know, this has massively affected my work. So yeah, I'd say they're the two things that have been the most affected. One positive that I can take away from experience with FND, I say there's more than one. Chloe Mason, my counsellor, as I said before, Imelda McQuaid, definitely mindfulness by nature, but also things like the online communities. I think as long as you don't read every single thing, because sometimes things can be a little worrying or a little upsetting as well, but to be honest, they have been very useful to me. So I think places like FND Action, I have used FND Hope as well. FND Action in particular I found particularly useful. Yeah, so any advice that I'd give to someone that is recently diagnosed, probably just again those people that I've mentioned, if you live in the area, in terms of diagnosis, utilise all the support that you can do, and just try and not let things daunt you too much. The one thing that I would say is try if you can to read up as much as you can, and to understand the diagnosis as best you can, because obviously, I mean, I left hospital, I was just given a piece of paper with neurosymptoms.org on it. That was pretty daunting as someone that had just been recently diagnosed. So I would say try to get to understand it, come to terms with it, but and obviously try and talk about it as much as you can. Use the support that you have got. If you've got a family that are really supportive, use them. I did. My partner and my mum and dad in particular, my family are very, very supportive, so I'm very lucky in that respect. I know not everyone's that fortunate, so talk to other people if needed. Use those support mechanisms, and try and get in touch with the correct people. And the last thing that I would say is don't give up. So if you're rejected for whatever reason for a referral, keep going, keep going, because I had a rejection and I've had to keep going. I've had to keep finding things out for myself and keep doing things, and keep trying to find the right support. And in the end, with Chloe Mason, with Imelda McQuaid, and with Jack from Burscough Neurophysio, I feel like I'm on that right track now to be able to at least improve, if not hopefully one day get better. Thanks everyone for listening.